All right, welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. My name is Ian Ray. I'm your host for today. Today I have a guest, and he goes by the name of the Dundas Kid, hailing from London, Ontario. So I want to give a huge welcome to Mr. Ethan Duclos.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. Yeah, Duclos.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Still a
Duclos.
French name
Okay.
there.
Okay. Awesome. Well, welcome, man. How's your morning so far?
Pretty busy, honestly. It's been pretty crazy. I'm in camp right now, so I'm training like crazy. So I gotta be up early, gotta be up late. It's crazy time right now.
Yeah. When's your next fight?
The fight September 21st is the plan. That is
Okay.
that is the plan right now. So I'm excited for that. So it's a busy time, that's for sure.
Yeah, dude. Well, bro, awesome. Let's dive into this. We're gonna want to get to know a little bit more what you do, where you're from, what you're doing. So, please go ahead, give me your name, location, where you're at, occupation, what you're doing, and how long you've been doing it, man.
Yeah, so well, my name's Ethan. We've covered that. But yeah, I'm out of London, Ontario, Canada. A few people that we met at the FST course were from there, which is kind of crazy. Didn't expect that. It's wild. There's like six of them, I think, from my area, and I'm like, first now I'm keeping in touch with them now. It's insane. But yeah, so I just started full time actually doing FST officially like about a week ago now. I used to work full time in carpentry, which is like a complete switch, and no one ever expects that. It's like, oh, you went from working in the trades to be more in the healthcare area, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I guess so. So people get a little weirded out by that, but yeah, so I just started full time. I guess quit it and started my own thing.
Uh-huh.
So on top of that, FST, I also do personal training and sports therapy, which is more of like, not quite physio, but like a little more towards that. And then
Okay.
I also do a lot of training with martial arts with a bunch of people as well.
Cool.
So,
How did you get into martial arts? I know you knew kickboxing, MMA. How did you get into that?
that's actually a really good question. I'm trying to think now. I started when I was like 14, 12, 14, around there. My parents put me into a karate class. Um, that had no idea what I was doing. They just threw me in there, and but it was a good time. I enjoyed it, and I kind of like during COVID especially, I kind of lost it a little bit because like everything shut down. My gym closed down because of COVID, and I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have anything to do. But as I think I ended up being a purple belt in karate, so I was getting up there, but never got a finish, unfortunately. But then I started getting into MMA just recently, about 2 years ago. It was when I started wrestling more,
Mm-hmm.
jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and that's kind of where that all started off. It was all like, realistically, I would have been still doing karate if it wasn't for COVID, but this is a lot more fun, I think.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people have either switched passions, found new passions during COVID. So, I mean, I'm glad you found something that you're thriving into this. So awesome. Tell me a little bit more. So, I know you were doing carpentry, and then now you're doing FSC full time. I mean, what kind of got you into saying, "Hey, man, I just want to do FSC," and doing what you're doing right now full time?
Boy, yeah, I'm trying to think now. I think probably what first introduced me into this, because before I started, like in the last 2 years, started MMA especially, I had never
Uh,
gone to a massage therapist, never gone to a chiropractor, never gone to it, nothing, nothing. I was a broken. I'm only 20, and I wake up with back pain every day. This is not a good thing. That's not supposed to happen, right? I'm not supposed to wake
yeah.
up and be like, oh, I'm only 20. That shouldn't be happening. So I think I forget who it was. I started running because a buddy of mine convinced me to run an ultra marathon. A mistake, by the way. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Oh,
It's not worth
never.
the bragging rights. But afterwards, I had like the worst shin splints like you'd ever feel, and I had no idea what to do. I kept training, and it just kept making it worse. And I still remember, I was walking by a room at my gym where they kind of rent out to some practitioners and stuff, and I just a massage therapist there. I'm like, hey, can you help me, please? I'm in pain right now. And so she took me in and she was able to help me out. And then she actually is an FST practitioner as well. So she actually said, hey, you should look into this. Construction's not working for you. You're hurting all the time. I'm like, that's a good idea. So yeah, so that's how it happened. So literally, I signed up probably like a week after she introduced me to Fascial Stretch, and signed up, and then here I am now.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy, dude. So this lady, I mean, obviously you probably still see her because you trained there. Is that correct? Or
Yeah,
is
yeah.
she, all right. Is she level 2 or 3?
I think she got level 2, but she may only be level 1. But she's a she's been doing massage for years though. She's been around it for
Mm-hmm.
a while. I'm not sure. I know she worked for Stretch Health Canada for a little while because
Mm-hmm.
I think you met. Oh, I'm blanking on his name. He was at the last day of at FST
She's
level
the
1.
owner of the couple of stretches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she worked for him for a little while, and that's kind of where she started out, and then started out on her own as well. It's a
Dang.
small world. You have no idea. It's weird. It's weird that way, man.
Yeah, especially you guys, you Londoners, dude. Like, Sarah's like you, Kayla, and then I forgot. There's another girl that was in my group too. She was from London. I was like, dude, that's way too many. So, right now, currently, I guess in what you're doing, do you have a certain demographic or population that you're typically working with, doing either personal training or FSD?
Yeah, generally right now, most of my FST in particular is mostly athletes. Any
Okay.
type of athlete. That's kind of where I'm like edging towards is the athlete sector because a lot of like I'm trying to like it's mostly a level of what's the word I'm looking for? Education. I'm
Okay.
trying to because a lot of people, when especially like when I started, I trained for almost a year, like into martial like mixed martial arts, and also like I don't know how many years, 7 years in karate. I had no idea this was a thing, no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, I was talking like literally like in my class, I literally asked people like, oh my back hurts today. I'm like, do you see somebody? Like, no. I'm like, what do you mean you don't see anybody? Like so like that it's education showing people that hey, this is a thing you can do, so you don't have to live in pain every day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, there like a lot of people are like going towards like the 9 to 5 people, that like they work in the offices, like yeah, like they sit around all day and stuff. That's like one type of thing that has to get corrected. Like people on their phones all day. Everyone's always like this all the time. Like that's it's a huge thing that's happening. So it's all about like the education side of it. So I'm trying to like get out there that this is a thing that you can do, so you don't have to live in pain every day. Because I know I lived in pain for years, and
Mm-hmm.
now understanding, hey, there are actually ways to fix this, and you don't have to just deal with it is a huge thing. So I'm trying to spread that to other people as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. Education, especially what fascia stretch therapy does for people, like it's a game changer. So knowing that you found this tool set right now in the back of your pocket, I mean, I'm sure you could help so many mixed martial arts because that's one thing too is I'm assuming that a lot of mixed martial arts is they either have lower back pain, tightness in probably hamstring, hip flexors because you're using a lot of those. Maybe striking, it's a lot of shoulder mobility. You could probably attest to that. But when you found out about FST, what were your initial thoughts about it? Did you have any hesitancy to even sign up for the course or even before the course started?
Yeah. So I still remember like so when I went to go for the course, I took a week off
Mm-hmm.
because I was still working carpentry full time. That was my job. That was my life for I don't know how many years before that. And so I took a week off and I was like, hey guys, I go on vacation. I'll see you guys later. And I went to go do this course. I have no idea what to expect. All I knew is that someone did it on me before. I have no idea if this actually works or if it was because she's also a massage therapist. She could just be doing both things at once, right? I didn't know what to
Yeah.
expect at all. And also the price point was a bit wild because yeah, I don't know, this no one ever talks about the price because it's a quite a financial investment. Like it's not like ridiculous, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like as someone who's taking a week off of work, going to another city for that week, you have to find bedding, you have to find food, you have to find everything, and then you have to pay for this. It's like a huge investment. So I'm going out there. I'm like, I have no idea what to expect. I could not make any money off of this, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, money's not the biggest thing in my opinion, but let's see, I'm a 20-year-old like full-time athlete almost. I don't have money. This is not a thing that's easy for me. So it was a huge thing that I was like, this is like, I'm just gonna throw it out there and see what happens. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
100% thankful I did it. Probably one of the best weeks of my life. Learned so much, met amazing people, and it's super. It's a very effective thing. Like I'm trying to think now, probably like 5 people a week that I treat out of my gym alone that have like attested that it's a huge difference in their performance, in their just overall well-being, not being in pain every day. So FST is
Mhm.
100% worth it, in my opinion. If like, especially out there for people like see massage therapists, personal trainers, if you want to incorporate this into your routine, 100% worth it.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's another carry on question is that I guess you're already including FST with these clients. So since you're working with mostly athletes, um, what are some of the things that you've done, like different, mostly straight leg series? I mean, can you kind of go with me what you do during assessment or even your during with your clientele during FSD?
Probably like majority of people, just because of the similarities in the type of training they do, I'd say the biggest ones is glute series. So the
Okay.
glutes are ridiculous. You have no idea. It's like they're rocks. Like you can't move them because of like everyone's always so tensed up, and then pecs and
Okay.
the traps there are ridiculous. It's like that like people like so all of a sudden like people forget to stretch all of a sudden. Like stretching doesn't
Hmm.
exist in the world anymore because of how bad these are. But and it'll make sense. Like typically, here's a little thing for people to know is that in almost all sports, so you can think of soccer, you can think of hockey, you can think of basketball, everything. These the main muscle groups that you're using are going to be in your
Hmm.
shoulders and in your legs, upper legs. Calves sometimes, the calf massages are the worst, so don't do it. But so everyone always wonders why, oh, shoulder injuries happen all the time. Why,
Hmm.
like, ACL injuries are like a huge thing in a lot of sports as well because of how tight everything is. And if everything is so tight, like, of course, there's injuries going to happen when you overexert them. But that's typically where I see, especially with athletes. I don't know, like, I think you work with soccer, a lot of athletes as well. Like, I wonder if you have the same experience.
Yeah, I think it's a whole bunch of hip flexors. So like I said, doing glute series, hamstrings too. They're running a lot, constantly stopping agility. So they're either feeling it down to even their stiff ankles. I find a lot of athletes have very stiff ankles. For instance, right now I have a kid. He's 13 years old, dude, and he should be very flexible, but he's a pitcher and he probably hasn't been stretching for who knows how long. So I have him do an overhead squat assessment. He's leaning forward. His calf is so tight. I mean, his ankles are so tight that he's on his tippy toes. And so I know for a fact even when I was trying to stretch his calf, I could not budge. And so I think one main thing is like the ankle mobility part, especially if you're striking a lot, you're on your toes, if you're running, doing different agilities, that makes a huge difference. So
Hmm.
yeah, I truly agree with a lot of stuff that you said. As far as maybe his shoulders too, because since he's a pitcher, he has rotator cuff injury. So I'm trying to work on not only the
Yeah,
shoulders,
rotator
but
cuffs are crazy.
yeah, shoulders. I'm trying to do lats, some back, and then of course kind of do head to toe. But my main focus is education too. So I had to kind of correct them like, hey, dude, we're not going to just focus on your rotator cuff. We're going to focus on everything because if we can loosen up a lot of things, that's where we're going to find a lot of those missing pieces that might even help out with that rotator cuff. But I'm excited to hear more about your story. Once you're doing this full time and you get more clients, you're going to find a lot of success stories with MMA because that's one field I want to get into too. Is working with MMA athletes, kickboxing, martial arts. So, um, do you have any success stories personally of FSD with clients, maybe that you've seen from since you started this? It's been a month now since we had this course. First client, maybe can you kind of give us a story or a short success story that you've had so far?
Sure. Yeah, probably the most of my first client. He still does it like I think probably about once a month, maybe twice a month, depending on how he's feeling. But like,
Mm-hmm.
how long has it been since the course? Has it only been a month? That's
It's
insane.
only a month, bro. Yeah.
That's a long month, man. Let me tell you. No, like so he had, and was a huge like we're kind of like I was like, oh, this is the real world. I don't know. They always talked about the course of how this is not realistic. Everyone here is in good health. Everyone here is decently flexible.
Mhm.
I picked up this guy's leg. I'm like, oh no, this is what I have to do for the rest of my life now. This is not gonna be fun. But he was, I think what started off, he had incredible just like upper back pain. It was
Mm-hmm.
or like shoulder back pain, like just excruciating. You couldn't sometimes you couldn't sleep at night, and it was and he also trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was his was sport that I met him from, and it also like that training had to go a little slower, go a little easier because he was just in pain all the time. And so I think after my very first treatment. I was working on his neck. I was working on his shoulders a lot for about an hour, and then afterwards, like probably for 2 weeks, I didn't hear from him. I was just like, I don't know, did I kill this guy? Like, what happened? But then like he was like I saw him at the gym, and he's just like huge difference, man. Well, one treatment. Let
Mm-hmm.
me repeat, and he like had like he could sleep at night. He wasn't in pain constantly. He was able to engage more muscle. He was able to like train properly and not injure himself more after one treatment. So I've been doing with him a few more since then, and he's been like probably my biggest success so far because of like how much improvement it takes only a little bit. So
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Um, yeah, just the power of just what we do. I think a lot more people should at least give it a test to see, and since I've been treating different athletes, even at volleyball, basketball, I kind of give them a 10 minute quick stretch. So I can kind of tell them, hey, this is what I do. If you're interested, I'll be more than happy to, be your practitioner to either prep you for a game or cool down. And a lot of them, of course, they're hesitant, but after the 10 minutes, they're kind of sold on it. So,
oh.
dude, that's awesome that you have that story. Thanks, man. How would you explain to someone who does not know what fascia is? So do you give an analogy to people what you actually do? Besides say, hey, I just stretch people, but I'm actually stretching fascia.
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So so a lot of times you can be super scientific with it a lot of the times, and people just immediately shut down. They're like, "Oh, like you're talking about fascia, like facial? No, fascia." Like people
Mm-hmm.
don't hear those words very often. But I try to explain it. I try to just break it down. So I tell people, it's like I ask them, "What hurts right now?" And they're like, "Oh, my shoulder hurts right now." And it's just like, "Have you ever had a shoulder injury?" No. Okay, what kind of injuries have you had? Oh, I've had something in my knee before. Huh. Everything is connected, right? Everything is connected together. It's almost like I think it was Kayla actually. I saw that she explained it as like saran wrap or like a plastic wrap. That's a perfect analogy. But like
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what it is. Like so basically if something hurts up here, it couldn't mean that maybe this is an injury. Maybe your back's injured.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your hip's injured. I don't know. But like you got to figure out through the fascia what is the issue in order to figure out. Ooh, I just thought of another thing actually. A lot of people. I'm brainstorming. I haven't had like a good conversation
All
in months. So this is like top notch for me. So, um, but a lot of people, especially like, I don't want to bash on anybody, but like say for example, chiropractors, massage, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times they treat the symptom
Yep.
rather than the disease.
Mm-hmm.
In essence. So let's say for example, chiropractors, you have back pain, they pop something back in, and for about right at like it's like very rudimentary, but yeah they relocate something, and then you feel good for about a day or two.
Yep.
Typically, if you don't do anything else, you'll start to feel that pain again. Oh, I have to go back next week again in order to feel all right again. With fascia, you're actually able to use. I like to tell people to do both. So you want
Mm-hmm.
to like complement each other because like without like with the fascia going all the way through your body, it's not going to allow something to go back into place if you don't like tell it to. And like you can't just move something and say, "Oh, like good luck." Right? So that's not a very good description of fascia, but that's kind of like how it works through different pain and stuff. It's like I said, like I've dealt with pain for a long time. This like you said ankles especially. Like, I remember
Mm-hmm.
I had a 75% tear in my ankle from playing soccer a couple of years back, and I re-injured it all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and but because of that, now I have lower back pain. Not because I injured
Mm-hmm.
my lower back, but because I injured my ankle. Right, the
Yeah.
fascial lines connecting. I don't know. That's a horrible description. I am very stupid, so good luck figuring that out.
No, but as to the fact that you're saying like everything, like as you can see, like my fascial lines right here, everything is directly connected. You know, head from the foot all the way to the cranium, along to the fingertips to shoulders. So it is we do solve a lot of issues, but we aren't taking away a lot what these chiros, the physios are doing because they have their own lane. And I 100% agree. We complement what they're doing. We're not taking away anything. If anything, we're actually accelerating their recovery. We're actually helping them prep for, you know, their type of work that they do or their sport, because we do a different type of dimension of work. And it's not just muscle. It's not just bones. It's the fascial system, which basically, like I said, it kind of encompasses everything. So um, I guess a couple other questions. What would you say to someone, I guess, to that one person who's on the fence about enrolling with Stretch to Win? So, you know, let's say, like, for instance, that lady who told you about enrolling to FST. You found out a coworker of yours or someone that's on the street kind of on the fence about it. What would you tell them about, you know, enrolling with FST?
Just do it. That's basically it. Um, yes, like there's a lot of uncertainties. Just do it. 100% worth it. Worth every penny, every second of time you spend doing this. Just throw yourself in there and do it, and it'll change your life. Like,
Yeah. So I guess to close, I do want to help, you know, promote people like yourself and other practitioners around here, around the globe. So I want to know, how can my audience follow you, learn more about what you're doing, and kind of even go to you as a practitioner. So if you don't mind, give me your social handle, a website if you have one, email, and then the location that you're working at.
oh, there you go. You cut out there for a second.
Oh,
Yeah. So if people want to follow me at my Instagram's at Ethan Duclos MMA. If you want, I could probably send that to you. You can put that on in the description or anything. And also, if you have any questions, honestly, if anyone has any questions about anything, like I don't know many stuff, but I do know a lot of people that know stuff. Just shoot me a message, and I'll be able to try to answer any questions you got. Same with my business for my stretch therapy and personal trainers, Duclos Stretch Therapy on Instagram, and um, that's all I got right now for that. But yeah, I'm out of the London area in Ontario, so I service the whole area. Anyone like I have people in St. Thomas that's near London, all over the place. So anyone that in there, or even if you're not in the area, if you want to drive out here and spend some time and hang out with me, go for it. It doesn't matter to me. I'm pretty chill that way.
yeah. Yeah, bro, you are chill. Hey, man, I appreciate it for the time and kind of giving this. So if you are interested to learn about fascial stretch therapy, especially what Stretch to Win Institute has to offer up in Canada or here in the US, you can actually go to stretchtowin.com. That's how Ethan and I both were able to go and register, enroll for the course, learn from the best, the originators of fascial stretch therapy, and Chris Frederick. So yes, big ups to them. Thank you so much, Ann and Chris. But yeah, man, thank you so much. And once again, we'll keep in contact, brother.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me in. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. No problem. Thanks for your time.